Has Queen Nefertiti's mummy, one of ancient Egypt's most celebrated New Kingdom rulers, finally been found? According to the world's most famous Egyptologist, the answer to this question is yes, and within a few short weeks, he expects DNA testing to confirm this assertion. Dr. Zahi Hawass, the former minister of Egyptian antiquities and the face of Egyptian archaeology in the eyes of the general public, was in Madrid earlier this month speaking at a conference organized in association with the ongoing Daughters of the Nile exhibition at the Palacio de las Alhajas. During an interview with the newspaper El Independiente, he told the reporter that a mummy he has been studying in recent months is in fact Nefertiti, the wife of the ancient pharaoh Akhenaten and the stepmother of the famous boy pharaoh Tutankhamun, forever known to most people as King Tut. Nefertiti's mummy, genetics will deliver the final verdict. The remains that Dr. Hawass have been analyzing, which includes 2 female mummies believed to be mother and daughter, and one of a small boy, were discovered in tombs designated KV-21 and KV-35, with the KV signifying the Valley of the Kings. One of these could turn out to be Nefertiti's mummy. The Valley of the Kings is one of the most famous and oft-visited archaeological sites in the world, and over the centuries archaeologists have excavated dozens of rock-cut tombs that were built to house the mummies of pharaohs, their family members, and aristocrats from Egypt's New Kingdom, 16th century to 11th century before Christ. DNA samples were eventually taken from both of the female mummies and from the mummy of the boy, who Dr. Hawass believes was Nefertiti and Akhenaten's son. These results of the subsequent DNA testing can be cross-referenced with DNA test results from a mummy known to have belonged to Akhenaten, which should allow all relevant family connections to be traced. For his part, Dr. Hawass is already certain of what the tests will reveal. In October, we will be able to announce the discovery of the mummy of Ankhesenamun, Tutankhamun's wife, and her mother, Nefertiti. Prof. Hawass told the El Independiente reporter, "I am sure that I will reveal which of the 2 unnamed mummies could be Nefertiti." Ankhesenamun was the daughter of Pharaoh Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti, while Tutankhamun was the son of Akhenaten and one of his own sisters. The marriage that united Nefertiti's daughter with her stepson took place when the boy king was 8 and his half-sister 13, but was necessary according to Egyptian customs at the time. Like many Egyptologists, Dr. Hawass has been looking for the lost tomb of the great queen for a long time. If his quest has indeed met with success, it would represent the fulfillment of his career, as the 75-year-old Hawass freely admits. Who was Queen Nefertiti? Queen Nefertiti's full name was Nefertiti Nefertiti, which meant beautiful or the beauties of Aten, the beautiful one has come. As the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, Nefertiti was recognized by the people of Egypt as their queen, and while she lacked the powers of a queen serving alone, she was undoubtedly one of the pharaoh's most trusted advisors and confidants. Temple images of the queen emphasized her physical beauty, as did the Nefertiti bust, a stucco-coated limestone sculpture created by Akhenaten's official court sculptor Thutmose in 1345 before Christ. But many of these images also captured her personal magnetism and political influence. While she is sometimes shown walking behind the pharaoh, in other portrayals she is seen individually and in dignified poses that suggest she was a powerful and respected leader in her own right. When her husband died in 1336 before Christ, his anointed successor, Tutankhamun, was only 5, so it would have been natural for his stepmother to retain great power and influence, and many, but not all, scholars are convinced she ruled the 18th dynasty essentially on her own for a time after her husband passed away. I really believe that Nefertiti ruled Egypt for 3 years after Akhenaton's death under the name of Smenkhkare, Dr. Hawass said, making his thoughts on the matter clear. Zahi Hawass date with destiny. Dr. Zahi Hawass' assertion that he has discovered the tomb and mummy of Nefertiti in the Valley of Kings could be seen as rather surprising given some of his previous statements. In 2015, when his rival, British Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves, suggested Nefertiti's tomb and mummy might be found in a hidden chamber inside the tomb of King Tutankhamun, the always opinionated Hawass scoffed at the notion. Nefertiti will never be buried in the Valley of the Kings, he confidently stated in an interview with the international media. The lady was worshipping Aten with Akhenaton for years. The priests would never allow her to be buried in the Valley of the Kings. Fast forwarding just 7 years, Dr. Hawass is now singing a completely different tune. He is counting on DNA tests to confirm that one of the mummies he's been studying in the Valley of Kings is that of the long-lost Egyptian queen, and he is completely confident he will get the result he is seeking. But regardless of what the tests show, giving up will not be an option. If Dr. Hawass' hopes are dashed, he will undoubtedly continue searching for Nefertiti's mummy in the Valley of Kings and elsewhere, as confident as ever that he is one day destined to discover the true location of the tomb of Egypt's most celebrated ancient queen.
Egyptian hieroglyphs are among the oldest writing systems in the world, dating back some 5,200 years. Known in ancient Egyptian as the language of the gods, and said to have been created by the god of knowledge Thoth, hieroglyphs were vital in the fulfillment of royal duties and were used by powerful pharaohs and their scribes to record the achievements of their reign. Today, millions of hieroglyphs in sacred texts, sarcophagi, tombs, and monuments remain as memories of a highly civilized bygone era. The ancient Egyptian writing system is a pictorial script with a huge number of characters, 24 of which stand for what would be recognized as letters. Others stand for complete words or combinations of consonants. There are between 700 and 800 basic symbols called glyphs, and there is no punctuation or indication of where words or sentences begin or end. The glyphs are usually read from right to left, top to bottom, and do not use spaces or punctuation. On the walls of temples and tombs in Egypt, they generally appear in columns. Priests used hieroglyphs to write down prayers and texts related to life after death and worship of the gods. When preparing their tombs, many citizens in Egypt had hieroglyphic guides of the afterworld written on the surfaces of tomb walls and on the insides of coffins. A cartouche was a type of name tag on a sarcophagi, often reserved for royalty, and was shaped in an oblong fashion and can be also found on Egyptian monuments and papyri documents. Hieroglyphic inscriptions on temple walls and other monuments were used for decorative and sacred purposes. Parts of the Book of the Dead, a compilation of spells the ancient Egyptians believed would assist them in the afterlife, were inscribed on sarcophagi. Inscriptions found on temple walls, graves, and monuments were destined for eternity. Hieroglyphs retained their importance as a means of communication with the gods, and the Egyptians believed their language was a gift from Thoth, their moon god of wisdom, and goddess Seshat. Compared to another ancient writing system, namely cuneiform, hieroglyphics are without an identifiable precursor and much more obscure. They also differ from the Sumerian cuneiform form of writing in that they represent consonants only, while cuneiform script represents whole syllables, including vowels. The ancient Egyptians rejected the use of abstraction in their language, and hieroglyphs drew from many elements in the physical world around them. The most complete and obvious glyphs are those devoted to people and parts of the human body. However, animals and birds are another, just as equally important category. There are also glyph sections for tools and weapons, jewels, etc. Not everyone in ancient Egypt could read and write hieroglyphics, thus making their meaning incomprehensible to the common citizen. Only one group had this knowledge, and they were called scribes. In order to become a scribe, one had to receive an education at a special school, which could take several years to complete, and it was usually young boys who entered in at the age of 6 or 7. Scribes were indispensable to the pharaohs. These scribes may also have something to do with how long the ancient Egyptian language was able to survive, since hieroglyphs were seen as a gift from the gods. To alter or abandon them was as an act of sacrilege. Around 2700 before Christ, hieratic, meaning priestly by the Greeks, script was introduced, which was a form of writing more akin to alphabet letters. Hieratic script eventually became widely used as a faster, more functional form of writing, and it was used for monumental inscriptions. It remained the Egyptian script for about 2 millennia, or until Demotic script was introduced in the 7th century before Christ. Demotic script was developed from hieratic and was an even simpler, more readable script favored throughout Egypt. It was used for administrative purposes and literary texts, scientific treatises, legal documents, and business contracts. It marked a new development in language, namely because it was a kind of dialect with its own grammar. During the Greco-Roman period, Demotic became the script of everyday life, while the older hieratic was reserved for sacred writings.
A 3,500-year-old ritual table discovered in Azerbaijan. Hey everyone! Today we're diving into an incredible archaeological discovery that's shedding light on life in the Late Bronze Age. Buckle up as we explore a 3,500-year-old ritual table found in Azerbaijan. A team of Italian and Azerbaijani archaeologists have made an amazing find at the ancient settlement of Tava Tepe, located in the Caucasus region near the borders of Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan. What they've uncovered is a fascinating circular earthen structure dating back to between 1500 and 750 BC. But this isn't just any old building, it's a ritual table with all its ceramic dishware still in place. Let's break down what they found. A central kitchen area with 8 cooking installations, a variety of ceramic containers, including bowls and black burnished vessels, flat pebbles that might have been used for mixing food, clay tokens with fingerprints, possibly ancient receipts for food rations, a thick layer of ash in one corner, likely from cooking fires. The structure itself is pretty impressive. It has a diameter of about 15 meters, that's about 49 feet. There's evidence of a monumental entrance with wooden columns. A thatched roof probably covered the entire complex. But wait, there's more. Outside the circular area, archaeologists found lots of animal bones from cattle, sheep, pigs, and ceramic pottery fragments. These were likely the leftovers from communal meals shared by nomadic groups passing through the area. You see, Tava Tepe was probably a pit stop for nomads traveling between the Kura River basin and the Caucasus Mountains. They'd rest here before tackling the mountain passes on their way westward. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The archaeologists believe this wasn't just a fancy prehistoric restaurant, it was a ritual site. They found human figurines in votive pits. The central area and entrance were sealed off with compacted yellow earth, and the construction of a raw earth circle with a diameter of approximately 2 meters placed on top, filled with a thick layer of ash, all point to the place's ceremonial nature. Professor Nicola Laneri from the University of Catania, one of the lead archaeologists, explains that this all points to the ceremonial nature of the site. These nomadic communities weren't just eating here, they were participating in shared ritual meals. This discovery is giving us an incredible glimpse into the lives of people who lived 3,500 years ago. It shows us how they ate, how they traveled, and even how they might have worshipped.
Archaeologists in Turkey have excavated the world's first church. Within late Roman-era chambers, they discovered smashed clay offering vessels which once held holy water. The team of Turkish archaeologists was excavating in Antakya, formerly the ancient city of Antioch. Currently the capital city of Hatay province, Turkey's southernmost province, the original settlement was founded in a fertile valley on the Orontes River, about 20 kilometers from Turkey's ancient city of Antiochia. Around 300 before Christ, the city was founded by Seleucus as one of the heirs to Alexander the Great's fragmented empire. This was but one site in what would become the Seleucid Empire, a Greek state in West Asia that existed during the Hellenistic period. According to Daily Sabah, the city flourished and under the Romans became incredibly wealthy and influential in the region. Famously, in Christian circles, it was here in Antioch that the term Christian was first coined, referring to followers of Jesus Christ. Now, for the first time, the ancient city's residential areas have been excavated, revealing secrets about how the Romans worshipped at this ancient holy site. Diving into the foundations of the world's first church. A report in Archaeo News says a 12-strong team of archaeologists, led by the Hatay Archaeology Museum, began excavating the cave church Pierre earlier in October. Legends maintain St. Luke the Evangelist was the first to use the cave for Christian worship, and that he gave it to the fledgling church in Antioch. Thus, the researchers were digging in what is not only the oldest church cathedral in the world, but also the first recorded site of Christian pilgrimage. Now, Ersoy, head of the Hatay Archaeology Museum, says that the recent excavations revealed rooms and many offering vessels belonging to the settlement from the late Roman era. These recent digs represent the first scientific excavations in the residential areas of Antiochia, said Ersoy. The archaeologists unearthed late Roman-era chambers filled with clay offering vessels. Ersoy thinks the ancient people who paid pilgrimage to the church bought offering vessels and filled them with holy water in the Church of St. Pierre.
Unveiling Peru's 5,000-year-old temple. Welcome back, history buffs and archaeology enthusiasts. This is Civilicitopedia, bringing you the latest and greatest discoveries from the ancient world. Today, we're exploring a groundbreaking find that's reshaping our understanding of pre-Columbian Peru. Let's dig in. In the shadow of the famous Nazca lines, archaeologists have made a discovery that's sending shockwaves through the archaeological community. A 5,000-year-old ceremonial temple complex has been unearthed. It was built during Topa Inca Yupanqui's rule. This remarkable find was made at the Los Perdones de la Otra Banda, Las Animas archaeological complex near Nazca, Peru. The Peru Ministry of Culture team began excavations on June 3rd, and what they've uncovered is nothing short of extraordinary. Los Perdones played a significant role during the height of the Inca Empire. Under the reign of Talpa Inca Yupanqui, who ruled from 1471 to 1493 as the 10th Sapa Inca and 5th emperor of the Hanan dynasty, the site functioned as an important Inca administrative center. Now, let's put this in perspective. We're all familiar with the Inca civilization, right? They ruled from the 13th to the 16th centuries and were known for their impressive architecture. But this discovery predates the Incas by thousands of years. The archaeologists uncovered the remains of a multi-story temple with walls constructed using a technique called smashed mud. This method involves compacting mud and other materials to create sturdy, durable structures. It's a testament to the ingenuity of these ancient builders. Let's take a closer look at some of the temple's fascinating features. A grand staircase leading to a raised platform, likely used for important ceremonies. Remarkably well-preserved color paintings on the walls, giving us a glimpse into their artistic practices. And here's where it gets really interesting, a carved figure that defies categorization. It has a human body, a bird's head, feline features, and reptilian claws. This unique blend of animal characteristics might represent important spiritual or mythological beliefs of the time. But that's not all. The discovery took a somber turn when researchers found the skeletons of 3 adults wedged between the temple walls. Additionally, they uncovered burials containing offerings wrapped in cloth. These findings suggest that this site may have been used for sacrificial rituals, a practice not uncommon in ancient Andean cultures. The story doesn't end there. In the same area, archaeologists uncovered another monument dating back to between 600 and 700 AD. This places it squarely in the Museen period, a civilization known for its sophisticated artwork and, yes, human sacrifices. The Museen people left behind an incredible legacy of art and architecture. They're particularly famous for their ceramic work, including eerily lifelike portrait vessels and intricately decorated pottery depicting various aspects of their culture and beliefs. This discovery is revolutionizing our understanding of Peruvian prehistory. It pushes back the timeline for complex societies and advanced building techniques in the region by thousands of years. It suggests that the roots of the sophisticated cultures we associate with ancient Peru, like the Museen and later the Inca, stretch back much further than we ever imagined. The excavations are ongoing, and who knows what other secrets this ancient site might reveal. It's a stark reminder that there's still so much to learn about our ancient past. So, what do you think about this incredible discovery? How do you think it will change our understanding of ancient Peruvian cultures? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're as fascinated by this as we are, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Civilicitopedia for more exciting archaeological discoveries. We've got plenty more hidden treasures to uncover. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand our present.